What is up, my fellow golf ball addicts? This is one a lot of you have been waiting for, asking about, emailing about, and I've kind of kept quiet on it for now, but this is why, because today I have it for you. The Tour Edge exotic golf ball. Doing a solo this time, not doing a triple review. This golf ball deserves its own review. It's its first time. Let's dive right in. As always, thank you so much for all of your support. If you want to support this channel further, you can always do the free stuff, which is liking, commenting, subscribing. We also have a membership. It just starts at $1 a month. That helps me provide more content to you. And also, we do have a GoFundMe page for, additional equipment for next year and all kinds of stuff. That's in the link in the description. Now, I think it's only proper that we give a really big shout out to a guy that I know many of you follow, many of you love, many of you watch his videos, and that is Mr. Gabe from Let's Play Through. Because the reality is this. I wanted to test this golf ball really bad. He actually sent me an entire box of them. So give a big shout out to him. Thank you so much, Gabe. Go follow his page if you haven't already. I know most of you do, but go also give him a thanks, comment in one of the videos, tell him, give him a shout out, because that's basically who this review is brought to you by today, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have the opportunity to review it so early. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. All right, so Tour Edge finally made a golf ball cool. Well, as you know, on Golf Ball Addict, we test almost every single golf ball that's on the market. I've tested over 200 since I started this channel. And here's the thing, as a direct-to-consumer company, it can be kind of difficult to get your leg in this game because you have to stand out, right? Not the case with Tour Edge. Tour Edge actually has a reputation already in clubs. They've been making clubs for a number of years. And when they came out, their whole mantra was, hey, listen, you don't have to pay as much. We're going to offer you a really quality club. We're not going to pay, tour players, and we're going to offer it to you at a discount. Now, a lot of companies have come forward recently, such as Tacomo and McGregor, and they're doing the same thing now. So, I'm sure the water's been muddied a little bit. So what better time than now to come out with your own golf ball and add a little bit more to your brand? Cool. I'm here for it. I'm a golf ball addict, baby. I don't care how many golf balls are on the market. I'll test them all. So let's take a look at this golf ball. Let's look at the front here. Now, this is actually a pretty cool font. I like it. It says Tour Edge. It's a little vanilla, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. If we look at the number, yep, just a solid black and white theme there. Nice, gets the job done. If we look on the side here, this is the alignment tool. I'm not usually a fan of words in the middle of my ball marker, but at least they kept the same size consistency. Sometimes I see companies do like big words in the middle and then a small line. I hate that. So if I do line this golf ball up, you can see it. It passes. It's not going to light up the scoreboard. It's not a 360 line or anything, but I think as far as just having a really good design that's going to appeal to the masses, this does that. And it actually does kind of give a Tour Edge vibe. You know what I mean? Cool. This golf ball is a 3-piece cast urethane. It comes in at 318 dimples. It's a solid golf ball. And the price point is what I really like here. It is $39.99 a dozen, which is a really good value. When it comes to a value tour ball, that's kind of the median. But this also does get a little bit of an advantage because, yes, it is a value tour ball, but it's also from a reputable company, right? When we think of that value tour line, sometimes we think of Vice or we think of Legato or whatever. And those are great golf balls and they are priced great. But this golf ball, because it has kind of a mainstream following and a mainstream reputation as far as being in stores, Dick's Sporting Goods, PGA Superstore, it is a good value in that regard because it's not direct to consumer, right? It's actually in retail stores, and I imagine it will be shortly, when it comes out. We'll see. Without further ado, let's get this golf ball out to the putting green and let's see how it does with chipping and putting. All right, we got the Tour Edge. It feels weird only having one golf ball out here. All year long we've been doing the triple reviews and the quad reviews, and it's just weird to only have one, but let's go ahead and dive right into it. Let's see what we're working with here. Very low spinner, which I like. Good tug, I like. Good rotation, okay. Wasn't hit perfect. Let's try again. Oh, baby. Oh, Nicky likey. Nicky likey a lot. Yeah, purposely hit that one a little harder. I love the soft landing. I do wish it had a little bit more rotation, but it does have the tug, which is nice. So it's not perfect, but it's really good. I'm gonna run it back. Okay, open the face a little bit for a cut. Nice. Oh yeah, very nice. Not a hard like bass effect to the right or anything, like not a heavy cut. But again, I could see the tug. I think this golf ball's got more grip than anything. I don't think the rotation's super heavy, but that grip really helps you out a lot. Gonna try to get some left spin on it here. Yeah, no, that ball was straight. Again, you could see the rotation and you could see the grip, but it just never shot left. So rotation-wise, not a lot of spin, but I actually kind of like that. I like the fact that I get a nice forgiving line to the hole, but I get enough tug to where it does have checkup. It's kind of a balanced in between. Yeah, so when it comes to the Tour Edge, you know, it may not have a lot of spin, it may not have a lot of rotation, it doesn't jolt left on you or jolt right, but that's not a bad thing. You know, a lot of golfers don't need that much spin. This kind of has a healthy blend of being really forgiving and just rolling right toward the hole without giving you that left and right, but it has a lot of tug and grip from the cover to actually slow down and kind of check up on you, which is really nice. So it's a great balance for, you know, intermediate golfers who aren't quite, you know, advanced, scratch yet. I actually like it a lot. It's very pleasant, and as you could see, I got 2 in, so it was very easy to figure out. It was very easy to get the feel, and I came away with 2 in the cup, so I like it. Let's move on to putting. All right, Tour Edge, we have our mallet putter first. Yeah, the roll is solid. I would give it like a 4 out of 5 on roll. It comes off the club very consistently and very nice. When it comes to feel, it's pretty dead in the hands for the most part. There's just a minimal tiny faint in the distance, kind of click in the hands or, you know, feedback. Yeah, just barely there, which I kind of like. I think a lot of people kind of prefer that more subdued feel now. Sound, I actually can hear it. I would call the sound, yeah, low, probably low for sure. Having that like really soft feel with a low sound but minimal feedback, you know, that's the vanilla way to do it, but it's not wrong. I mean, it's a lot of people really enjoy that. All right, let's move on to the blade and let's see how that one is. All right, next we have the blade putter. Let's see if there's any difference here. Okay, yeah, still definitely kind of normal on the distance control. Distance control is, you know, not fast, not slow, kind of in between. Yeah, again, roll so far is like a 4 out of 5. It's still not perfect, but it's still above average for sure. Ah! So I always find it intriguing when this happens, but I don't feel a lot of difference. Yeah, I don't feel a lot of difference. They basically feel the same. Now, don't get me wrong, because this is a skinnier putter and there's not as much weight, I do feel a little bit of a difference, but it's not, you know, crazy like other golf balls are. There are some golf balls out there that, I mean, the difference between the mallet is like hitting a bouncy ball and then hitting a blade is like a hollow rock. Not the case here. These are actually very, very, very close. Yeah, you know, like I said, it's kind of vanilla. It's not a bad thing. I know it sounds like a bad thing, but it's not. It has a very just mild feel. It has a very mild sound. It's kind of like my wife, right? I take my wife to a Mexican restaurant and she wants everything as mild as can be. She still wants a decent flavor, but she just doesn't want that spice, that kick, you know, and that's kind of what this reminds me of. And it works, you know what I'm saying? You can still have a good meal that way, and this is a good golf ball on the green. I enjoyed it. It's solid. Let's go ahead and get over to the feel and let's see how it feels coming off the irons. All right, Tour Exotics. Let's see what we're working with here. Slight miss hit there. I definitely felt it in the hands. The feedback was very, very apparent. Gonna hit a couple more here. Okay, that was a pure hit, and I gotta say that was really nice. A lot of explosiveness. There's that firm, just kind of barely there click, press for feedback. I love it. Endorphins. As soon as I hit the ball, immediately we're telling my brain, hey, listen, you got a hold of that one. Nice job. So I love that. I would call it a 4 out of 5 on pure hits. Very good. Let me do a miss hit just slightly, though. I think that previous miss hit was a little too much. Okay. Yeah, you know, there's actually a lot of feedback in this ball. Let me hit a couple more. Yeah, a little bladey there. Definitely let me know. Yeah, I call the miss hit feel a 3 out of 5. What I really like about this golf ball that I didn't see coming, there's a lot of feedback in it. Like, there's actually a lot of feedback. Usually I have to see like the really firm Chrome X, you know, X model golf balls that have this level of feedback, you know, 4 layer, 5 layer. Not the case here. This actually has plenty of feedback. Again, feel is kind of just slightly above average. It's maybe the vanilla route, but I love it. It's actually really good. When you hit it pure, you feel like you hit it pure. You get those endorphins. You get that, maybe not that Tim Allen grunt I talk about all the time where you're like, "Ugh," but you know what? You feel good. You're like, yeah, I got a hold of that one. That one's excellent. So it's a nice little boost to confidence. Overall, pretty solid feel. Okay, let's go inside and let's see how these numbers are. All right, let's talk some data. Now we're going to start with the 50-yard pitch. As always, backspin RPM. Looking at that, we have 8,330 with a 26.5 launch, so it's kind of a low launch and really high spin, which is great. That's about 400 RPM more than my average. The other thing I really love is, look, this is two other tour balls that I'm comparing it to. This golf ball hangs with the big boys. It really does. That's, like I said, 400 above average. It's going to spin. It's going to stop on a dime. It might even rip back to you a little bit. So that's a great start. That's exactly what I would want to see from this golf ball. I was just hoping for maybe a little bit in the green, but it's above my expectations so far. So let's dive into the pitching wedge now, full shots. Looking at this, we have 123.7, 124.2. Both of those are above average on the distance, which is great to see. Now keep in mind, when it came to the swing speed, 78 is lower than my average. So when we look at the 96.4 ball mile an hour speed, that is just kind of in that middle high zone. But if I do the adjustment, it's actually in the green, which is great. 7,016 is a balanced spin. It really balances spin with distance, which is great. It's not really low spin. It's not really high spin. 1.24 on your smash factor, which is one of the best smash factors I've seen this year, so that's awesome. And then it wanted to launch low, actually. It has a very low penetrating flight at 21.7. All of those numbers are really, really good. I love the balance in the middle there. You know, when you're making a golf ball for the first time, sometimes it's better to just take the safe route, and that's what they did. They didn't try to go niche or do something really specific where it's like, hey, we're going to make our golf ball just really high spinning. It's not going to have a lot of distance, but it's just going to spin like a maniac. Or they didn't say, you know, hey, our golf ball is going to go forever, but take away all that spin. They kind of hugged that middle ground right on the fence, and they did it perfectly. Above average distance, explosiveness off the club, but also a nice healthy checkup for spin. Actually, I love that. That's a smart move. When we get into the 7-iron, we're kind of looking at the same thing. 164.4, slightly above average. 166, above average. 84.5, 117.3, an excellent ball speed number. Smash factor, an awesome smash factor. So I was swinging a little slower, but I was still getting above average on distance and ball speed. That is awesome. 5,643 on your spin, which is above average. So, I mean, 16.1, that's again a low penetrating flight. So really the only thing I see so far is that if you have a low, if you have a low launch initially and you need something that launches a little higher, maybe this wouldn't be the ball for you. It does want to launch low and kind of, you know, penetrate the wind a little bit, which a lot of us need, but not everyone needs. We're all different, right? Other than that, I mean, excellent ball speed, excellent distance. The smash factors are awesome. Right now, we're 3 for 3. So let's go ahead and go into the driver here because this could be a really, really good showing. Let's go ahead and look at the driver numbers, starting with 234.5, which is 5 yards above my average, 244.5, which is 6 yards above my average, 98.2, I did swing slightly faster than my average, so the numbers should be pretty comparable. 145.4, anything over 145 is just top notch. I love to see it. 2120, that's, that's actually a low spin number. That's awesome. It's actually in the green on the low spin. Great. 1.48 on your smash factor is above average. Anything, again, 1.48 or better is just the bee's knees, baby. 14.2, again, a low penetrating consistent flight. Wow. I mean, yeah, I mean, what else can you really say but wow? You know, expectations-wise, this is their first golf ball. You know, I'm just surprised at the consistency. The consistency is so nice with this golf ball. Low penetrating flight across the board, gain of 3 to 5 yards with every club across the board, no weird dips and spin or anything like that. That's really impressive. There's a lot of golf companies out there that can't do that, and they've been making golf balls for years. And so I'm not exactly sure which factory this one's coming out of. You know, I've heard, I think I read a My Golf Spy article that talked about maybe the same one as Max Fly or something like that. Don't quote me on that, please, but I think something like that. But it's impressive. Like, whoever's doing it knows how to make a solid golf ball. And the reality is that I'm really impressed with these performance numbers across the board. I'm impressed with the price point. I'm impressed with the performance versus value. it's really darn impressive. So before I get to my closing thoughts or anything, we still have a couple things we got to go through. Let's go ahead and go over to the computer and let's look at the accuracy and dispersion and let's see how it does there. All right, so if we look at the dispersion chart here for the Tour Edge, I gotta say, there's very little negative here. Let's start with the 50-yard pitch. Yes, there's 3 that are a little bit short, there's 1 long, but the accuracy is incredible, and I know it only looks like 3 little dots there in the middle, but there's actually 6 right there. That's how close those all are on top of each other. That's incredible. I haven't seen that all year. Then when we get to the pitching wedge, again, all of those are just darts. Those are all birdie opportunities. Those are all 2-putt to a par. You can't ask for anything more than that. And then when we get to the 7-iron, if you take away the 1 short and left and the 1 push to the right, there is 8 out of 10 that are just straight up darts. I mean, look at the 4 that are all basically touching each other. I mean, that's really incredible. I wouldn't call the accuracy there perfect, but it is darn good. I mean, the fact that darn good is the worst part of this dispersion chart is impressive. Then we get to the driver, incredible consistency, incredible distance control, and again, I would say all of those are in the fairway. It's really nice. Maybe you have 1 that gets pushed off into the first cut, but my goodness, as a whole, I love where this golf ball's been, and now we even have some great consistency and accuracy to go along with it. So on to durability. All right, let's talk about durability real quick, and then I'll give you my closing thoughts. When it comes to the durability, as you can see here, now this has a lot of red on it, as you can tell. That's from hitting the target in my net, so I mean, that is what it is. But as far as looking at the rest of the golf ball, it looks pretty darn good. There are a couple little gouges. There's some sand marks where there's some sand, so it's not perfect by any means, but I would call that a solid 8 out of 10. It's actually really good. It would last you the whole round. I think some of you could even get a round and a half out of it if you played your cards right. Maybe slower swingers a little bit, or if you avoid the trees and the bunkers. Absolutely, that's pretty good. So 8 out of 10, again, not really much negative here. All right, so closing thoughts. Usually when a golf company comes out with a new ball for the first time, I try to get in the mindset of, how can I offer constructive feedback, right? I don't want to harp or be harsh on someone for their first attempt, I want the golf ball to be good, because when it's good, us as a community, we thrive, because better golf balls mean better golf, right? So I came into this thinking, okay, where can I get the, constructive feedback? I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed, because I think what Tour Edge did here was perfect. You're coming out with a new golf ball. How do you want that golf ball to be? Well, they could have taken risk, right? They could have taken all these really big risks and said, we're going to make a really high spinning golf ball. But that's risky. It's really risky, because what a lot of people don't understand is that when golf ball companies get a reputation, that reputation can sometimes get a hold of them for a long time. I still have people tell me that Top Flights are rocks. Guys, Top Flights haven't been rocks for over 5 years now. Ever since Dick's Sporting Goods took them over and changed the formula, they're now more marshmallowy. They're more soft golf balls than anything. But the thing is that when I tell these people that, they go, well, when I was in high school, Jim, you were in high school 25 years ago. Oh, yeah, I graduated, 99. Yeah. You just don't realize. You don't realize how much time's passed. And so sometimes having a bad golf ball can follow you for years. And so what Tour Edge did here is perfect. You come out with a golf ball that kind of has a lot of vanilla in it, right? It just has a lot of basic stuff. The design's basic. The green side is kind of basic. I mean, it's still good, but it's basic, right? Nothing eye-popping, nothing catchy. The feel doesn't try to do anything crazy. It just tries to give you the max amount of feedback and just be a decent ball. But what's great about that is that it's all just above average, and it's all consistent, and it's all forgiving. It's just great. It's great across the board. I don't have a lot of feedback here as far as negative. I don't have a lot of stuff to work on. This is the perfect beginner golf ball for a company. It really is, because now they can do whatever they want. They can make an X model if they want. They can come out with different colors if they want. They can go anywhere from here. But this is that base building block that golf ball companies need. And it's really, really impressive. Across the board, the performance, everything in the green, nothing in the yellow. This is a great golf ball for people who don't want to spend a lot of money, but are good enough, kind of maybe in that high single-digit handicap, maybe 10, 11 in that range. Still three-piece. Come on, let's be honest with ourselves. But anyone in that range who's looking for a really good three-piece model that's around $40 a dozen that they can save money at, this is a solid golf ball, and it's worth a shot. I let the numbers talk. I try to take my opinion out of it as much as I can. Look at the numbers. Let them talk. It's a great golf ball. Great job, guys. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm really surprised. That's impressive. I hope you enjoyed this review. This golf ball comes out on, I think, the 28th. So after the 28th, I'm going to be asking you guys in the comments. I want to know if you play it. Please let me know what your experience is. I would love to hear about your experiences playing with this golf ball. You can email me or comment or message me on social, whatever. I'd love to hear it. As always, keep watching, keep saving, keep learning. Until next time, I'll see you soon.